Okay, best player at Chesterfield. Two spells. I had 2 spells there. Some terrific players. The first season, obviously, I was quite fortunate to get promoted. We had a terrific squad. The defence was superb. Midfield created lots of chances for the 3 strikers, Bob and Ernie and Wack. So a really good side. I think one of the most skillful players we had there was John Matthews. He was a terrific player, great on the ball, could pass it wherever he wanted, and seemed to do things what other people couldn't do. So he was a terrific player. In my second spell there, obviously, young Kev Davis came through as a 16-year-old and took the team by storm, really. So Kev was a terrific player. But yeah, I think overall, first best player I played with down there was probably John Matthews. Biggest joker at Chesterfield Football Club. First spell, definitely Bob Newton. He'd take the mick out of anybody and everybody all the time, never stopped, in your face all the time. Played a joke on me. We were travelling back from Eckington Pitt Street, been training, and it was a terrible day. I was actually covered in mud all the way through, absolutely covered. Had to strip off completely and down to my underpants. As we were driving back, he stopped the car and asked me to get out just to see if somebody, he claimed that somebody had been flashing at him. I got out, and as I got out, he said, just have a look at the back light. Got out, had a look, and as I got out the car, he drove off, leaving me stranded between Eckington and Whittington. So fortunately enough, John Duncan came by to pick me up. He picked me up and he just bust out laughing, and so yeah, that was a trick that I got played on myself. In the second spell, probably not so much the joker, but certainly the thickest, is Tony Bryan. Great lad, had a great relationship with him. Spent a lot of time with him after training. We used to go down to Bradbury Club and we'd go for a game of snooker, and he'd play the machines all day. But one particular time we went on a Christmas do, and we dressed up in, I think it was 80s gear, and I think it was Greg Fee had a wig on, and Tony decided to set it alight to see if it went up in flames, which it did. Greg nearly lost his hair, was in a pub and nearly got kicked out. But yeah, so as a joker, Bob to start with, and then in the second spell, certainly Tony Bryan. As a joker, everybody took the mick out of him. He wasn't the brightest kid. Lovely kid, but not the brightest. Who would win a Royal Rumble? Some big characters, strong guys at the club, both first and second spell. Again, I mentioned Bob. Everybody mentions Bob all the time. You can see the size of him. He probably had the physique of a Royal Rumble contestant. Big barrel chest, strong. But I think overall, the one what I thought was the most nastiest, or could have been the most nastiest, was Daz Carr. A brilliant lad, strong player. I remember one training session we was at Grassmore Training Centre, and Dunks had been giving the centre halves a little bit of stick, and he was winding them up, and we were playing forwards against attack, and Nozza were attacking. Just didn't fancy it. Daz was in there. He was kicking lumps out at him every ball that went into Nozza. He just kept kicking lumps at him from back, and Dunks, to be fair, the person who were bust out laughing his head off. But as I say, Nozza frightened to death that day. Didn't fancy it one bit. So yeah, Daz was a strong lad. Could be nasty, and obviously you've seen the video clip from the Plymouth game when he just waded in. So yeah, Royal Rumble would probably be Daz Carr. Best dancer. First spell, as I say, 18, 19-year-old. We spent a lot of good nights out in Chesterfield after the games, and we used to have a Wednesday club where we used to go out, or a Tuesday club after games. We used to go down to Adam and Eve, and we used to go down there. So we had a good few nights in there, and also Aquarius on Saturday nights. The first spell, I think there wasn't much dancing going off, to be fair. It was just a drinking squad. It was a pig squad, but great lads. But yeah, so the best dancer, again in that first spell, didn't come out with us very often, but when he did do, it was a dance floor freak, was Steve Spooner. Spoof, which I spent some time with him at York as well, where again at that time he'd levelled off and didn't go out much at all. But yeah, Spoof was he used to chuck some shapes out on the dance floor, and as the night got older, a lot of the lads fancied themselves as dancers. So but good fun, good guys, good fun, good laugh. But the dancer I would have thought would have been Steve Spooner. Changing room DJ. Difficult one. We didn't really have a lot of music flying about in the dressing room in the first spell. Obviously, when we were going to training, we used to have music blasting out and stuff like that, but not so much in the changing room. So not really too much, and you get the radio in the background or whatever. But yeah, not too much about. So the first one, I think the DJ, it's an hard one, it's a tricky one. Tony was the worst singer, Tony Bryan again, and he was the worst singer. He used to sing a lot of the old stuff, so it was terrible. His voice used to go through you. And so if you were one kid to have him in the car travelling to training, he'd want his music or so, but not so much in the changing room. So yeah, so not so much in changing room, but in the car, Tony Bryan was the worst singer. So he was one who used to spring to mind. But that was basically it really with the singing. Worst tasty music, as I just mentioned, again Tony. A lot of old stuff he used to play, used to sing along, but as I said, not the best singer, but he got a terrible sense of music. We was more or less all into the pop stuff of early doors when we got to the clubs and went for a drink out and stuff. We had quite a bit of music there, but yeah, the worst taste of music must be Tony by a long way. Sorry to keep bringing him up, but he really were a character. In need of the fashion police. I think that was fairly obvious. First spell we got young Brownie, a young lad like myself, not long been in the squad long, but he used to wear white shoes. Used to have his suit on all the time and used to wear the white shoes, which were, you know, at that time they were quite funny and seeing him indoors. But yeah, but the other one, I think one of the worst things was when Fergie had his injury. Brian Ferguson had his injury, and he was looking after the juniors team, which used to play on a Saturday. And I recall there were a game when he looked after the side away at Nottingham Forest, and Fergie got his tracksuit bottoms and he forgot his boots, and he got his brogues on with his boots, with his tracksuit bottoms and a leather jacket. And I recall he came back and Mr. Clough went up to him watching the game and said, who's in charge of these? He says, I am. He says, he says, you look more like a pop star than a football manager. He says, get yourself sorted out and get it changed. He said, but yeah, so I think that one was Brownie with his white shoes, and then Fergie with his brogues with his tracksuit on during the game. So Fergie, I think, will take them on us by a long way. Who was the fastest? No brainer. Mark Jules. He was like lightning. Whenever we did runs, he used to lap me 2 or 3 times. If we were doing 12-minute runs or whatever, he'd lap me by a country mile. I was nowhere near. But so Julesy was the quickest by a long way. Really quick off the mark. Used to excite people when he got the ball and run at him. You'd feel a buzz, and he was capable of doing anything. So the fastest by a country mile must have been Jules. Who was the messiest? I've heard a few. Yeah, I think Wack mentioned me and Tony mentioned me. The reason why we was because we used to work. When we went into training, we used to work. The training pitches weren't the best. We used to train anywhere, to be quite honest. Anywhere where there were no dogs on, we'd go and we'd go and train. And the penalty areas after shooting sessions and stuff, we usually quagmire. So yeah, the messiest were the keepers, myself. Diving about here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, there is a fact that I was one of the messiest, but that was only because we worked hard. unlike the centre forwards and the centre halves who headed the ball and then wiped the floor, we were just in it non-stop for a, a good hour, diving about up and down round there. So, and also, as I said before, when we used to go back to the ground after training, we used to have to take all the stuff off to get in people's cars and take a towel and sit on a towel. So yeah, the messiest for us lads was the keepers, and I'll hold my hands up, I was one of the messiest. Teacher's pet, quite simple, Jamie Hewitt, country mile. Kev obviously took him when he was a YTS lad, and Jim was always on the right side of doing things right. Jamie, teacher's pet, Johnson, Rando loved him, Kevra loved him, bless him. He thought the world of him, I looked after him. As he looked after, Jamie looked after the YTS lads. He was his eyes and ears. So the teacher's pet, yeah, Jamie Hewitt, nobody else comes anywhere near really. First to arrive at training. In my first spell, I used to get there quite early. Enthusiasm, wanted to get there, get things organised, everything, get myself ready. But no matter what time you went in, whether you were injured, whatever, Steve Bain was always there. He was always there. He'd always be in his shorts, topless, showing his body off. You could have a body like mine, Jed, if you looked after yourself. But he was the first one there in the first time. Obviously, he was doing some coaching there or assistant or whatever. Not sure what his title was, but I know he was part of the management team, so he was always there. The second spell, yeah, the lads used to play head tennis round the back. So Tom Curtis, who was skillful and could play with ball, and the other guys, they used to get there quite early and make sure they got a couple of games of head tennis in. Two Browns, Phil and his brother, they were both there early doors. But I would say probably Tom in the second spell, but Bainsy were there all the time. I think he was obsessed, but he never went away. So he was there every time we went in training, no matter what time. Worst trainer? Not so many really. I don't think there were too many bad trainers. I know when we did the running and it was a running session, I was the worst. I hated running. I couldn't see the point. I know a few occasions when we went on runs and stuff, I used to say to John Duncan, Gaffer, this will stop ball running, that won't hit me running like this. For me, I thought it was pointless. I couldn't stand the running. So the worst trainer regarding what we're doing was myself, regarding running. When we were playing ball and doing ball work, I loved it. I loved flying about everywhere, and the muckier it were, the better it were. So loved that side of training. But at the other side, the running side, I hated it. We used to be a little bit of a squad on a Sunday morning, and if you weren't in the team or you felt that you needed to do a little bit more, I used to have you in, and we do fartlek, which is absolute terrible. Running and jogging and continuing and sprinting, horrible. And so I just detested it. But we had to go in, and if you're in that in the Sunday squad, it was hard work. Not so much as I said, training wise. Otherwise, I think Nozza, I thought was a little bit lazy. I always thought Nozza were lazy in training. He come to life when he was in around the 6-yard box, probably like his game in general. So in general, give him a ball around about the 6-yard box, he'd create things and he'd score goals. Give him a ball 30-yard out, he didn't want to know too much about it really. But Nozza, yeah, deadly around the area. I didn't think he was a great trainer, to be fair. Probably not like me for saying it. But yeah, a little bit idle for me, Nozza. So, most memorable moments playing for Chesterfield. Obviously, firstly, signing a contract with it being my own team, watching them since I was a young lad. Remember watching the Division 3 promotion side, Championship side, 1969-70. I remember going to quite a few of those with my dad. And so being able to sign a contract with them was ecstatic. I was excited really about it. Making my debut against Bury. I'd only been at the club a few weeks, Jimmy broke a finger, and I got in the side and remained in for the full rest of the season. So to win the championship that year, absolutely amazing. You know, the last couple of games I won at Peterborough, the supporters all in fancy dress, was something else really. And then the final game against Rochdale at home, you know, when the final whistle went and we knew we'd already won the league by doing that. Lap of honour, collecting the trophy, just something else really. But yeah, really enjoyed my time at Chesterfield. Great set of people, great set of lads were there both times, and I'm really fortunate to have played for my own team. Been on 2 promotion sides. Obviously the one went to Wembley and beat Bury. I played the first 20 odd games, unfortunately broke my leg and was out then for the rest of the season. Didn't go to Wembley, I wasn't allowed to go to Wembley, did no money to take me, so did miss out on that. But yeah, great scenes for the semi-final against Mansfield, but really loved my time. Thanks again, cheers, all the best.